Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So the question everybody's asking right now, how on earth such a massive change to our bread and flour industry gone unnoticed? Why did the legislation seem to go past really quickly? Was there any petitions? And of course many other questions. So myself, I actually wondered as well, why have we not been told about it? Why have we missed that? But of course I decided to do a little bit of research and find out certain information to answer those kind of questions. And to be fair, I gotta say I'm not really surprised. Bearing in mind how conniving, how snidey the government's doing certain things, it's almost I felt like they really didn't want us to know about it, so we didn't have a say in the matter. Well, so first of all, the whole idea of fortifying the flour, and we're talking about that with synthetic folic acid, been talked about for actually many years. Believe this or not, first time, right, it came out publicly in 2018, and that created a massive backlash. And believe this or not, there were two petitions. But both petitions got rejected because apparently petitions were done too early because the government haven't done the public consultation yet. So literally that was just then dead in the water. So then you think, okay, well, you think they'll be progressing when things a little bit further, but no, things got a little bit quiet, okay? And they then started talking about the same legislation between 2021 and the 2024. Right, we're literally mid-pandemic, we have cost of living crisis, massive energy pricing, we've got the elections, a lot of other things there. So you could imagine to average consumer, though say 2021, 2022, the flour industry wasn't really of a concern. We're more worried about just getting through our day-to-day lives and dealing with the food shortages and other nonsense than potentially looking at the flour industry, right? So this is where the biggest part to me, the timing, it seems to be like a camouflaging the issue. They're doing this, quickly sneak this in whilst they're looking there, looking at the news, looking at other things and worrying about other things. They just sneak this one quietly underneath. Anyway, right, the point is, okay, also the way they presented that, it was a part of the update to the bread and flour regulations, which was already in place. Okay, we already know the flour gets fortified with the iron, niacin, calcium, and thiamine. We know that. So that was just done like another little tweak. The other part, because they targeted a flour rather than the bread, okay, people generally more so buy bread than a flour, and chances are the people that do buy flour wouldn't really read the ingredients on the flour itself, but sometimes you might be looking at ingredients on the bread. But the point is, because it was done like with many things we talk about when we do Food Exposed, when I talk to ingredient part, because it's ingredient in a flour and not in the bread, the bread companies wouldn't have to put like a new recipe or anything like that. So to me and you, unless we know about it, chances are if you look at the list of 70 ingredients in your bread, you wouldn't really spot one extra. So this is another really crazy thing. So then the fact is, right, because they excluded, and think about it, they excluded obviously the wholemeal flour, they excluded the artisan mills, and they excluded the specialist flours. They are probably the people that would be more likely to create a backlash with the issue. Just think about it, because the companies that produce bread on a huge scale, like for the supermarkets, to them it makes no difference. Okay, there's neither here or there, but they had a little bit of time to source the fortification and deal with whatever they need to deal with. But by avoiding those target groups, to me, it's been done intentionally because there'd be no backlash. As I said, because the supermarket people who produce bread on a massive scale wouldn't really care. So next, again, we're questioning why on earth media haven't been covering this. But see, because the government been targeting or been kind of painting this with a picture is for the saving NHS costs and preventing the birth defects. If you think to the media, this is not really a clickbait title. So to media, they look at it as, okay, there's nothing to see there. This is for public health improvement. And genuinely is understand that those subjects get not really, how to say, they're not really, the media is not really interested in this kind of subject. So purely, again, because the way they've been worded this or the way the government put that forward, it basically made media not want to cover that kind of issue. And then, of course, we're talking about the consultation. So consultation took place, okay, in 2022. Okay, so we've gone from the 1st of September 2022 to 23rd of November 2022. This is only 11 to 12 weeks. So it was on the government website, but it was under the public consultations, and apparently that wasn't really worded that nicely or easily for people to understand. We've got to understand, again, if we're talking about the big things, the big changes that happen, we understand as consumers, we don't go on the government website and look down into like a consultation news type thing. We just don't. We as a public need to have a slightly better, not say advertising for it, but slightly better easy access. If you truly want to know what people think, then you've got to do a little bit better of pushing us forward. Anyhow, okay, from that consultation, they only had 369 responses, okay? 361 gone via emails and 8 were reported to DEFRA directly. And of course, we know any consultation and any legislations then have to, in this instance, be also approved by DEFRA. So nonetheless, okay, out of pretty much 70 million people, only a very small percentage of people actually seen that. So the question is, when they're doing massive changes to things like the alcohol, the cigarettes, anything that they change publicly or they want to change in the name of the health of the population, everything gets pushed properly, okay, like in those instances. So everybody's aware of that. And yet in this instance, it is not. It's been hidden there once and left there under consultation finished, and that was the end of it. Where was the information, say, in the supermarkets? Where was the information, like I said, on the news? Where is it anywhere than to tell us that this is what's happening? Okay, and this is the scary part, okay? So this was happening in the 2022. Okay, they started rolling this out from end of last year, and obviously it's happening now on a bigger scale because by 2026, the whole idea that everything is then fortified. The point is, 2 years has passed, right? And they still kept it quiet. The point is, and this is why people, and this is why we all got a little bit of a shocker, because we're like, okay, well, how come this happened so quickly? It didn't. It happened in stages. It happened 2018, where originally people noticed, but that's like a long time ago, okay? Backlash, stopped, and then they introduced it again during the worst possible time for population to deal with that minor thing. Then they masked the way they called it, so it basically became just a minor change and adjustment. And then they left it another 2 years without reminding us to do something about it and voice our opinions. And then boom, now we're aware because they're just rolling out. So this is, guys, really then answers the questions why we are just finding it out. It's been done so cleverly as it's almost been planned. So there we are, as far as I'm aware for now, okay? Apart from the original petitions that were done, they've been rejected because it was too early. There's no petitions so far I'm aware that do exist, but I'm pretty sure because this is kind of just coming up in the public eye, there would have been no doubt a lot of people starting the petitions, but they're going to take a while for them to be obviously approved. So it might take a week, or sometimes I think they say up to a month for them to basically look through the list of petitions. So if you've done the petition, obviously maybe just let us know down in the comments below. But chances are somebody would already done that, and they don't allow the repeat petitions anyway. So really soon we'll start hopefully seeing the petitions. I'll try to keep check to make sure that there is at least one there. If it's not, then we certainly, I think, ought to do one. I just think it's bad enough, right, that they've done this without pushing this upon us, okay? Massive change, we need to know. It's regardless what people think, whether people should be eating bread, is healthy or not healthy. This is not the point. I don't eat the supermarket bread. I bake my own, I buy flour and I bake my own, but it's a choice, okay? It's a choice. If people want to eat that, then it's up to them, okay? We shouldn't be pushed by the government to say, okay, this is going to be now rolled out just for the sake of, 200 cases that they're trying to save. And again, there are some people who think that this is like a big conspiracy theory. I will put the link down to the original government mandate or the article down below, so people who think this is still a conspiracy theory, yet there's already half in the shops that are there, can actually sort of have a read and understand that this is not a conspiracy, because government really not going to put a conspiracy theory on their own website, because that would be just horrific. But the point is, okay, people should have a choice. Okay, and for the percentages and for the statistics, it's all there. It's not just me making this up, the small percentage of what they're trying to do, and yet somehow save NHS loads of millions, doesn't add up. It doesn't add up, because how many of people that will be consuming the bread, and how many people are they trying to help not getting the disease, it's horrendous. It just does not make sense. But at least hopefully what now makes sense, guys, is we now understand how this has been basically gone unnoticed, because looks like it's been done this way deliberately. The timing and everything else is being nicely coherent with the current events, so me and you just don't get to notice that. So anyway, I do hope you find this video helpful. Don't forget, thumbs up, subscribe if you're not a subscriber, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye bye.